Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, consider liking this video, and check out my Amazon and ECS affiliate link down below. Now moving on for today's video. This video is a video I've wanted to make long before I had my F10, and it's a video about how you can add CarPlay to basically any BMW that has an iDrive system. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in a second. I'll show you all the components that we have, and I will show you guys how to install it. This retains the factory iDrive screen, so if you have the CIC, CCC, the MBT like I have, or even the MBT Evo, this system allows you to enable full screen CarPlay, so it's really cool. If you guys are looking to buy this, link down below. Like always, I show all my products in the description, so if you're looking for anything, check the description below. So let me show you guys the product that I'm talking about. All right guys, so here are the components. This is the actual CarPlay box that allows you to add CarPlay. One thing I forgot to mention is this box will allow you to add cameras. So if you don't have a backup camera in your car, it will allow you to add it, and it will allow you for a 360 camera and some other stuff. There's some switches on the back that pertain to what the functions do, but this is the actual box that allows you to have CarPlay. We have this little jumper cable that plugs up to the factory navigation system, and then it's kind of like a bypass, so factory plug, factory navigation system, and then this will actually plug into the unit. We have something to intercept the screen signal on the actual screen. And then we have this cable where you can add your cameras, and then we also have a USB port for CarPlay if you want to use wired. But the cool thing about this unit is it has wireless CarPlay. So I know there's a lot of different units and they all essentially look the same. We'll give this one a try, see if it's good. It's by a company called Hi-Fi Max, I believe. And they were kind enough to send this over, so let's check it out, see how it is. And we also have an external camera. Now, a couple things to note before we start this job. First being, on these newer BMWs, disconnect your battery. Do not attempt to undo any electrical connections with the battery plugged in, because you will end up with a million different codes. I actually recently did this on a Mercedes and kind of learned my lesson. I got a engine code that would not go away because I unplugged an electrical connection while the car was not disconnected from its battery. So disconnect your battery. And secondly, make sure you guys have an assortment of tools. You're going to need essentially probably Phillips heads, plastic pry tools, and definitely Torx bits. So you're gonna need some Torx bits for your screwdriver, and definitely a microfiber cloth to put down so you don't scratch anything. So let's get started. We're gonna start by pulling off the front vent part. I should say we're doing this on my BMW F10, but this applies to many different BMWs, but I will be showing you guys this on my F10 with the NBT unit. All right, so bear with me. This is my first time actually taking apart the interior of my BMW, my F10, but we're gonna pry this whole piece off right here. Now with this piece off, there's a couple different connectors that we have to take off, so we're going to take them off. There's the push start we have to take off, and the center controls for the AC and heating. This connector, I will say, was a little challenging to take out. You just kind of have to wiggle it, and there's these like metal teeth that are like holding it in. So I was able to get that out, and pretty easy. So we're gonna put this aside and continue on. So this is when your Torx bits come in useful. 2 T20s that hold in this front piece. So, yep, 2 T20s. And now this piece actually, believe it or not, just pops out. That's the only two things holding it in. Just pull, nice firm pull, and it will release these clips. I'm really surprised with the build quality. They've really upped their game up, BMW. I mean, compared to the E46. And I love my E46, but some of the stuff isn't built the best. And on the F series, and I'm assuming on the G series, it's even better. They've really upped their game up. Even on the E90s and E60s, when I was working on mats, I've really noticed some quality improvements. But with these two clips out, they're just a standard style where you just flip this little thing up and you can pull out. So leave those out, and we can put this in a safe location as well. Now we have 4 T20 bolts to take out the actual unit. Now before taking the unit out, we are going to have to remove the screen, which we are going to do right now. And there's two, you probably can't see, but right up here there is 2 more T20s. One on this side, one on this side, holding the screen in. So let's remove those two. Now with those out, we can grab the back of it, try not to touch the screen, and this Should just pull down like that. And then we have one connector holding it in. So how I was able to get this out is I used a plastic pry tool. I pressed down, depressed it, and took a plastic pry tool on right in the middle and was able to pop it out and release it. Now we're gonna have to actually remove the GPS, and we already have the screws, so it should just pull forward. Just like that. And we are going to have to repin the fiber optic so we can undo this harness from here. Give us just a little more room to work with. Now with the harness out, we are going to have to reuse this quad lock. We're gonna have to undo it. And to undo it, it looks like there's two little pins that you squeeze on each side, and then the quad lock should start to pop up. And it comes out just like that. So two pins on each side if you squeeze them, and then this piece will flip up. And then we're gonna take the unit and kind of just stick it out of the way for now. I know it's very tight, but we're gonna have to do what we can do. So try to stick it out of the way. Okay, so with the quad lock connector disconnected, we do have to do a couple things. We need to swap this fiber optic cable right here, the green cable, into our new harness, which is like the bypass harness right here. So it's gonna be pinned in right here on the new harness. So we're going to do that now, and to do that, I'm actually, guys, I've been really loving, for my E46, I got this BAV sound kit, and it has a lot of good tools in it, one of them being a little metal pick, and that's exactly what we're gonna use to take out this connection. We're gonna just kind of pick it out. So if you just pry up on it, and just slide it out a little, and then we need to pull back this piece of Velcro and just pull out that fiber optic cable. Bam, and pull it out, and then we're just gonna rewrap it up. And now we have the fiber optic cable right here, and we are going to take the fiber optic cable and plug it into our new harness that exists right here, and it's just gonna go in the same way that it came out. So we want this little clip at the bottom, it's not on the other side, and we want it on the outer one. We don't want to flip it around. I know it wants to kind of flip around, but don't let it do that. It should only go in one way also, so it's kind of dummy proof, but you do have two holes to pick from, so make sure you pick the hole on the right, as I am right here, and bam, it's in. So now this part is now gonna go to the radio, the new one, and this part right here is going to go to the harness coming out of the car. So let's do that now. And we're gonna take this connector, should only go in one way. That locks in, and now we're gonna lock this new connector, putting very little strength on it, into the navigation unit. All right, so I got the quad lock into the back of the navigation. For some stupid reason, it took me forever to do, don't know why, but I got it. So now I do have to reattach this. I did not hook this back up. So we're gonna just plug these two in, and that's now clicked in. And now this cable right here runs to the Carplay unit. Now, the only other thing that I have that I'm not too sure that I need, and I may not need it, is this aux connector. Apparently, this is only for the CIC system, not for the MBT. If you guys were using the external mic and not the onboard mic of the car, you'd have to plug in your external mic there, but we're not going to do that. So the next thing that we have is we also have this guy right here, which is going to go to the unit. And the unit's kind of be snaked behind right here. There's room right there. So what we're going to do now is start just backing things in and trying to seat this huge monstrosity back in its hole. Don't know how good it's going to happen. I know when we installed an aftermarket unit in Matt's E60, oh, it was a pain. Nothing wanted to go back in. So let's hope BMW did a little better, get a little more room on the F10 in the back. But yeah, that's super, like that's it. That's like all the wires you have to run. So it's super easy. So we're gonna run this guy up. Run that up, pull this up, and I'm gonna run without this. I don't think we need this from everything I've read online. And just from what I've seen, you don't actually need this on the MBT unit. If you had a different unit, you may need it. So I think I have a zip tie or something in here to tie it off. So I'm gonna do that real quick and then I'll be back. So the next thing we need to deal with is this wire right here. This is gonna plug into the inside, so where it says in, that's where this is going to go. It only goes in one way. So we're just gonna snap that into place and you'll hear a little click. And then provided from the kit is we have this new cable right here. One angle on mine has a right end and this one is a straight end. The straight end is gonna go into the unit, right end is gonna go back into the navigation screen. So we're gonna plug this up right now. Next, we have the antenna to plug up. And the antenna, we're gonna have to find a good spot for it. I saw people sitting on top of the radio, I might do that. And it does have some 3M adhesive, which is nice. So we do have to plug the antenna up. Let me just unravel it. Next piece is the next thing we have to plug in is for the USB, and if you wanted the backup camera and stuff like that. So we're gonna plug that in as well. And that plugs in right here. And then the only other thing that we haven't plugged in yet is the actual connection from the car. So that is this monstrosity right here. I know there's a lot of wires, guys, trying to manage them all. So that's this cable right here, and that plugs in over at the end. And bam, that is all connected. The only thing that we really don't have connected at the moment is the LCD screen, which is right here. So this plugs up to the LCD screen and your system is fully wired. Obviously, we need to find a spot for it and stick it back in its hole so everything's routed nice. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna double check that my dip switches are in the correct position. And for my application, I have 1, 2, and 3 in the on position. It may vary for your application, so check the manufacturer's website. So let's try to snake this around. I'm trying to figure out where this should go. Okay, so I now have the CarPlay unit mounted. I have the microphone, I have the antenna chilling right here that I'm gonna stick, I think, above here. It's a nice flat surface. And I'll show you where I routed the USB port, but we are going to put back the navigation system. And I have this wire, the new wire, the out wire running up to the screen. So let's make sure all this stuff is good to go. That's plugged in, nice and secure. And that's plugged in with the fiber optic cable. Now we can just slot this guy back in. And let's see how she fits. So it looks like they gave more room on the F10 than they did the E60, because the E60, there's no way for 2 quad lock connectors to even fit. Here it looks like there's plenty of room to get both the quad lock connectors back there. I just want to make sure nothing's getting pinched while doing it, and it looks like everything is good to go. All right, with the unit installed, the navigation unit, we can now take this 3M piece adhesive off, and we're gonna just stick it right to the top. There's like a little spot or brace on the actual car that we're just gonna stick that to. It's right above the radio. It's not on the actual radio, so if we pull the radio out, this piece will still be there, which is good, because then you'd be tugging on it and it wouldn't slide out. So we're gonna do that now, and then we're gonna put back the screen. We can now put back the HVAC and radio controls. Now the last thing we have to do is plug in the front trim piece. All right, guys, so I want to show off the unit, and so far I'm liking it. I've used it for a little bit, but first thing you do need to do is make sure your multimedia is on aux. We didn't actually need that other port running to the aux in the center console, which is super nice, but to get into it, if we just press and hold the menu button, you hear a little click and it's the relay, and then I'm already connected my phone, and bam, we have CarPlay. Really liking it. So we can go under now playing. Audio sounds the same as the rest of the car. I'm using Bluetooth or anything like that. It sounds really good. So there's that, and it works. Now my favorite thing is if I put on my 360 camera, bam, it still works. I was really concerned that it wouldn't be able to switch out of it and understand that and stay in CarPlay when I put my car in reverse, but it does that, and steering wheel controls work, volume works. The only thing that I'm not too keen on, so if I go like this, my heads-up display or on the dash, if you have your music playing like it did with Bluetooth, it doesn't actually show up anymore. Unfortunately, it just says aux, and that's just due to the fact that you're on the aux input. It doesn't understand anymore because this is aftermarket, so nothing you can really do about that, but it works really good. I really like it. Even though it's not touchscreen, it's pretty good. The resolution is really good, so I do like that. And overall, I'm just really enjoying it, and we'll see how it works. I am connected via wire right now. I haven't really tested out wireless. I used it like once or twice, and it does work. I just prefer wired for some reason, just because you do have to connect with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, it seems, to get it to work, so that's why. So overall, I'm really liking this CarPlay unit. I will have a full review out if you guys would like that, but basically you can add CarPlay to any BMW, which is really sick. I know on some other cars like my Chevy, I had to buy a $700 unit, install it, but no, this is using all the factory stuff and just a little add-on to make CarPlay work. So definitely check this out if you guys are interested in adding CarPlay. It's a really big upgrade and game changer for your BMW that did not come with CarPlay. That is all I have for this video. If you guys have any comments at all, drop them in the comments below. Give this video a like, consider subscribing, and also check out my ECS and Amazon affiliate link down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.